So I came out here today to say about what it is to have ulcerative colitis and how to live with it, really. So I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis after some bouts of diarrhea for a fair few months. Is the lights okay? Yeah, so that was pretty bad. I mean, I was on the toilet all the time. I think the first time it started getting worse was it was when Wimbledon was on last year, and yeah, so it took them quite a long time to actually diagnose it. Unfortunately, they thought it might be even just IBS, not IBD, you know. And yeah, I wasn't really put on anything for a while until I had a colonoscopy and they diagnosed me. It was pretty bad. I mean, I looked on the little screen while I was being examined, and yeah, there was just loads of ulcers because ulcerative colitis, because it's inflammation of the colon. So ulcerative colitis is basically Latin for ulcers, colon, and itis, which is inflammation. So yeah, that was pretty bad, and so they put me on steroids, which was pretty awful. I'll talk about it in a second, but I was just in hospital a couple of months ago again, same problem, and yeah, so I was put on iron tablets because you bleed a lot, and I was put on steroids, which don't stop you bleeding, but they will stop your inflammation. Sorry. Yeah, and I also went to the herbalist and got some herbs, and that probably really helped as well. So since then, oh well, okay. So back when I was diagnosed. Sorry, I'm a bit anemic at the moment, so which I'll get onto in a minute. And yeah, so I was put on the special diet for the colonoscopy, so you're all cleared out. Sorry, I'll put a disclaimer in the title. Anyway, yeah, so I was put on that, and it's essentially you can have white stuff, like refined grains and stuff like that, which is kind of insane. And they said you can have like white fish and whatever, just so you don't get all stained, I suppose. Don't know really. Yeah, so I did that, and then I noticed that I was okay with the meat I was allowed to have, which was great. And I decided that, oh, I'm just going to only eat meat. And then I saw a Jordan Peterson video with Joe Rogan, and he's on a pretty much steak only diet, which is not really a good way of doing it, but he seems to be pretty vibrant on it. And after I was on that was absolutely great. But recently I was in hospital again, like I just said, and unfortunately it was sort of my own doing, because I'm sort of new into this diet, and sometimes into this disease, and sometimes you like to pretend that you don't have it, because it's a little bit distressing to have it. I mean, I'm used to it now, and a lot of people they say, oh, how do you live with that? Well, you kind of get used to it. But yeah, so I was in that hospital because I was having cold brew coffee with maca powder in it, and coffee and caffeine are both basically triggers for me. And if you have stuff yourself, you will be having different things. But I'm a low methylator, which means that I am really sensitive to histamines. So that's like so I have to avoid mature things like cheese, anything really what is it? It's nearly time for me to eat, and I haven't eaten all day. Yeah, so which is because I'm on a ketogenic diet. Yeah, so I just have to avoid things that are high in histamines, and coffee is one of those as well. So that really messed me up. And the maca powder, that's fibre. Do not touch fibre. If you've got ulcerative colitis or Crohn's or whatever, just don't fucking touch it. Yeah, so that's that. How do I live with it? Well, mine is actually stress based as well. So when I get really stressed out, I don't really get really stressed out, but when I get a bit stressed out, I will get I'll have inflammation. So really it's important to be mindful and meditate, do yoga, and avoid, like, because I went to the gym the other day and did some ab workout, and I was just, because of the stretching of the colon, it was bleeding for the last couple of days after I was eating food, which really isn't good, and that's why I'm a little bit anemic now. And today I walked like nearly 8 miles, I think, probably maybe more now, yeah, so that felt like 10, and it was just so hard. Yeah, so I've taken my iron tablets now. I prefer the Floridix because it's ferrous glutamate and not the ferrous sulfate. Sulfate, it's really powerful and really potent, but it is not very bioavailable. I mean, it will sort you out really quickly in a few pills, but it will also cause some kind of stinging situations, which is not fun on the toilet. So I would avoid ferrous sulfate if you can. But if you are in a situation where you're anemic as much as I was, you probably need to be taking them sort of quite a while. But now I got my ferrous glutamate from Floridix, which is absolutely great. I mean, I'm feeling better already, and yeah, so that's a couple of things I do. Also eating only animal products, and now I think I'm gonna have to start avoiding egg whites because there's a little chemical in there that can create inflammation. And yeah, so I have to avoid cheese and all those nice things, and you can get a lot of vegan stuff that's absolutely fine for you, but a lot of vegan stuff won't be because it's going to be high in fibre, and yeah, don't do fibre. So that's really bad light there. So I hope that helped, and just explains pretty much what I do and my life with it. And I would say, if you're looking into stressful situations or pushing your comfort zone, I would do it slowly. I would not go really hard into it, because stress will may cause it, because I mean, they did a study with rats, and the rats. There's 3 ways to initiate a IBD disease, and one of those is physical trauma. So you can actually physically, you know, hit, like if you got like a something really hard kicked into your abdomen. I don't know what I can say abdomen then. Or another one is over stress. So they can put these rats under a lot of stress, and they will get it. And another way is through food. So giving them too much inflammatory food, like I think probably like kerosene, because that's like the easiest inflammatory you can get. Yeah, avoid that. Yeah, so do your research on food. Eat what you like, but not what you like. So eat what you know what you like to eat, but be very careful about it, and avoid greens. And well, that's what I do. I avoid greens. I avoid fiber. You don't need it, as long as you're not having too many carbs. And yeah, so that should sum that up, really, to be honest. Great. So please like the video. Really helps me out, puts me up in the rankings, and subscribe, because I'll be putting out a lot of sort of